Hi, it's Mark and welcome to my first video from AIDS 2016 in Durban, South Africa. Today is actually the pre-conference for men who have sex with men. You are going to meet men from around the world who are fighting homophobia. We're going to talk about Chemsex. We're going to talk about PrEP and drug smuggling going on to get PrEP to gay men around the world who want it. There's a lot going on. It's called the MSM pre-conference, but as I like to call it, it's Gay Day.
It's Mark S. King from My Fabulous Disease, reporting from AIDS 2016, sponsored by the Global Forum of MSM and HIV, and the complete HIV resource, thebody.com, with thanks to Queerty.com. It's AIDS 2016 in Durban, South Africa. Hundreds of gay men from around the globe streamed into the MSM pre-conference for sessions on homophobia, PrEP, transgender rights, and more. Let's meet some of these amazing men, including those who really face dangerous risks back home.
Well, in Egypt, there is no law that specifies homosexual acts or not, but still the government sometimes, a few years ago, they had raids on nightclubs, they had raids, they even set up fake internet accounts, and they would set up a fake meeting with someone, and once someone arrives there, he finds the police, they take them, and the proof is the conversation on the app. They take them and they detain them and they put them in jail. And they use the words faggots and stuff like that in the law. And
in the law?
Yes.
It says faggot in the law?
Yes. And they're prosecuted with a death penalty, with imprisonment for 10 to 15 years, and you don't even need to have proof for them.
Well, you just have to find a way to blend in with the community, blend in with the people. Not make yourself obvious, you know, and yeah, just stay calm. You can't be yourself, you know. Right. That's the big deal there. You can't be yourself because you're worried about someone telling on you. The laws are so bad that even as someone knowing or associating with you, knowing that you are you're gay, and you know the person not telling the authorities is also complicit.
There is more people who prefer death to go in hospital because of this bad attitude.
Okay, let me repeat that.
Yes.
People would prefer to die
yes.
than to have to go to the hospital and
Yes.
face the kind of stigma and
Yes.
homophobia
Yes,
that
absolutely.
they see in synagogue.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
New infections continue in most populations of gay men, and in some, they're rising. So we're not in control of HIV. And the rhetoric out there is that, you know, we're about to move toward an AIDS-free generation.
Let's talk about that rhetoric, because what burns my butt is the end of AIDS.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a terrible message, epidemiologically speaking, as well as just in terms of prevention.
We have a new prevention tool, PrEP. And it's one of the very few interventions where the data from effectiveness, from the real world use of it, is better than the clinical trials. That doesn't always happen. PrEP is being prescribed in a private practice setting. No new infections in 2.5 years among gay men on PrEP. Spectacular.
You're a gay man in Germany who has PrEP shipped to the UK, and then you physically go to the UK and pick it up?
Well, I'm in the very lucky position that my partner lives in Brighton in the UK, so I go to the UK like once a month anyway.
I have something for you. Okay, just now hold on. I have a friend in the United States who changed meds and went on a different regimen, and so he's not using his Truvada anymore. And I just happened to slip into my bag, and look, it's an unopened Truvada, so it's the real thing.
Right.
And I don't know if maybe you know you know, I don't know if we should just slip it here and just, you know, we're drug smuggling basically. No, we're not. No, we're not. Yes, we are. So
Okay, so just to give you an idea, I really have to think about this, like how illegal is this? How illegal would this be for you?
Yes.
You know, giving your drugs? How illegal would it be for me and then taking it, we're in Durban right now, so taking it from South Africa. But that's the other issue, you know, we really have to think, so how illegal is our activity, just, you know, wanting to protect ourselves from HIV with a really proven to work method?
Well, I'm criminal by nature, and so let's just keep it right here.
It'll be there, and I'll decide later if I actually accept this offer.
Maybe he'll throw it away.
Only about 6 or 7% of men in the UK are using drugs associated with chemsex within the, recently.
But 6 or 7%, that's
still
not,
a reasonably
yeah.
high number.
Yeah.
If you look at men in London, then about 14% of those are using drugs associated with chemsex. If you look at HIV positive men in London, 32%, so nearly a third of HIV positive men.
Twice as many.
Twice as many. A
as the
third of
general gay
positive guys
population.
in London were utilizing chemsex.
Now the question is it the chicken or the egg? In other words, we know that chemsex will release is less inhibitions, less likely to use condoms. So were they chemsexing which made them HIV positive, or are they using chemsex as escapist behavior to help deal with their positive diagnosis?
I think there's a lot of the latter that's occurring for many guys. It's guys.
In other words, they didn't even start using until after they were diagnosed.
Yeah, that's really common. I mean, it's really common that people start using all sorts of substances in response to stressful life events, the point at which you're coming out, the point in which you have a relationship breakup, the point in which you receive a HIV diagnosis. And so lots of guys using chems as a way of helping them cope with those feelings that they're, the kind of HIV self-shame that they were experiencing, stigma they were experiencing from sexual partners, fear of rejection. So that was definitely the case.
This is where I get my rejuvenation and where I get my best ideas, is to be around my community and people, and these pre-conferences are really the only opportunity for me to see folks that I don't see for 2 years, right? So I hear about the work that people are doing around the world, and certainly the internet makes the world a lot smaller, but there's nothing takes the place of really being, face to face with someone and just kind of sharing a hug, sharing stories about what transpired in the last 2 years, and then, talking about how we strategize together. Homosexuality is criminalized still in 78 countries around the world, and but even in places like the US or Canada or anywhere in Europe or Australia where homosexuality is legal, and now we have same-sex marriage that's legalized, violence is still a problem. And an example of that is Orlando. That's the most recent example. So we have to be concerned about that. And that's rooted in people's attitudes and beliefs about homosexuality. Stigma is still alive and well, and we have to overcome that.
Stay tuned for marches, protests, breaking news, and the awesome sights of the global village.